So the question is, why are we judging ourselves? And how do we judge ourselves? But what the ancient texts say is that our experience is only an experience, not positive, not negative, until we judge our personal experience, until we give it an importance based on our perceptions and our beliefs. And until we do that, it is simply an experience. And the healing comes from allowing us to feel whatever it is that the world gives to us to feel, and to acknowledge that feeling and say, yes, this is a feeling. Sometimes it's a good feeling, sometimes it's a bad feeling, but to allow the feeling to unfold without judging what the feeling means or being afraid of how it may affect something else in the world. The feelings that we call negative are simply indicators, indications that something is crossed our paths. Why do I feel this way? What is it saying to me? And they become a problem only when we ignore them or when they go unresolved. When the feelings are unresolved and we bury or mask our hurt or our frustration or our anger or our jealousy or our rage, and we do that month after month, year after year, and that feeling is buried inside of us looking for an expression, that's where we begin to have problems. But the feeling itself, when we have a feeling, when I have negative feelings, and I don't judge them, I say, I'm having a feeling about this person or about this situation. And then I have to check with myself and say, why am I having this feeling? Or what does it mean to me? What is it telling me about my personal beliefs and my personal experiences? And in that way, the negative feelings become our best friends. They actually serve us rather than hurt us. And that's all based upon our beliefs and the judgment that we attach to them, to those experiences. It's very interesting. There's 2,500 years ago, there was very precise language that every human lives in this earth in 3 worlds at the same time. We live in the world of thought, with the world of feeling, and the world of emotion. And their texts actually say to us that when these 3 become one, when the thought and the feeling and the emotion are merged, are married together into a single potent force, then when you say to the mountain, move, the mountain will move. Now, I used to believe that this was a metaphor. And now I have seen in the monasteries in Tibet, and I've seen with the holy, sacred people in Bolivia and Peru, and in the native traditions of the desert southwest, and the medicine hospitals in Beijing, China, that this is not a metaphor. It's a literal fact. When thought, feeling, and motion become one, we've literally can change the stuff our world is made of. We can rearrange the atoms of matter to the belief waves that emanate from our heart. So the question is, when we are experiencing judgment and ego, what is that saying to us, really? Well, the first thing it's telling us is that we are not in our hearts, because the heart has no judgment. The heart has no ego. When we are experiencing those qualities, it is coming from our mind. It's coming from our inner child or our experiences from our past, our perceptions, our conditioning. It's not coming from our heart. And this is so interesting to me because I'm using the English language, and in the English language, the language is not designed for this conversation. Other languages are. Sanskrit, for example, ancient Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, there one word that means the energy body, human, for example, it's called prana. In English, there is no single word for prana. So we have to take other words and put them together, and energy, body, or electrical magnetic fields, or something like that. So it's the same as true for the language of the heart. There is no word in the English language that describes the language of the heart. Part of my heritage is Southeastern Cherokee, Native American Cherokee, and in that tradition there is a word that means the single eye of the heart. The heart does not see right and wrong, good and bad. It sees what has happened with no judgment. And that word is Shante Ishta, Shante Ishta, the single eye of the heart. So the goal of many ancient traditions, early Christian, early Jewish, early Buddhist, Native American, and now the scientific principles today, is to find the way to view the experiences of life, what happens in the world around us, our relationships, our finances, our health, through the single eye of the heart, the eye that says, yes, this is what's happened, without saying what has happened is good or bad or right or wrong. And then when we find ourselves having these experiences, we are in our mind. And it is the marriage of the mind and the heart that give us this power to create. And the way they say to transcend, to get through the judgment that we find ourselves in, is to, now it sounds strange at first, but what they invite us to do is this. When something hurts us in life, when something crosses our path that causes our pain, the first reaction is to move away from it, to say, I don't want that. And that is when the judgment comes in. So if we can embrace the experiences when someone or something hurts us, it hurts us in life, not that we like the experience or want to have it again, but the ancients say that we should bless the experience. And that sounds very strange, to bless the things that hurt you. But here's what happens. When we begin to bless the things that cause us the pain, the blessing is simply the acknowledgement. When you say, I bless the person who has wronged me, who has been dishonest with me. I bless the person who has violated my trust, betrayed my confidence. And you say that again and again and again, and you say it out loud. What begins to happen is the verbal expression brings the physical energy up from the heart into the body. Soon your body becomes warm and you'll have tears in your eyes and you'll say, I bless this person. I bless this person. And it is the blessing that relieves the charge, releases the charge of the judgment, release the charge of the judgment for just a moment. And that's all we need, because for just a moment, when the charge is released, we can replace the hurt with something else. And the ancients say that that something else is what we call beauty. Beauty is a powerful force in our world, and it already exists everywhere. The ancient sayings and the Native Americans alike, they say that beauty is already everywhere in everything. Our job is to find that beauty, to seek it out. And Mother Teresa was a master at this. She would walk down the streets of Calcutta, India, and she would see dead bodies on the streets and decay in the gutters, and in the dung in the gutter of the streets in Calcutta, she would find the flower growing, and in that flower she would find beauty in the streets. So, and that experience allowed her to the strength to find even more beauty in life. So rather than judging the experiences when they come to us, if we can look at each experience as a blessing, and when we find ourselves hurt, say, again, yes, I feel hurt, but acknowledge it first. Secondly, what is this hurt saying to me? What voice am I hearing? What is it telling me about my life? What's the message? And you bless the hurt that's giving this information to ourselves. And as we begin that experience, it is much easier than for our thoughts, feelings, and emotions to become one, so that we can move that mountain when it comes across our paths. Thank you so much for listening. I'm learning just as much as you are, and don't judge, just love.